Dear Taurus, let us begin. There is a profound shift occurring, not on the periphery of your life, but in the very bedrock of your being. You may feel it as a subtle restlessness, a quiet hum of discontent beneath the surface of your carefully constructed world. This is not a moment you have stumbled upon by chance. It is a destination your soul has been journeying toward for a very long time. It is the culmination of silent struggles, of unspoken desires, of a deep and persistent yearning for something more than just stable. This is not a message to be passively received. It is an invitation to participate in your own becoming. Before we journey deeper, I ask you to anchor your intention in this present moment. Go to the comments below and affirm your readiness by writing these words. I, Taurus, am ready to release what is heavy and embrace my own truth. By typing this declaration, you are not just leaving a comment, you are sending a clear signal to your own heart and to the universe that you are ready to engage with the truth, no matter how unsettling it may initially feel. Now, let us speak of that truth. For so long, you have been the rock, the fortress, the unwavering pillar of strength. You have mastered the art of endurance, holding everything and everyone together with a resolve that is both your greatest gift and your heaviest burden. You built these fortress walls with the purest of intentions, to create safety, to protect what you cherish, to prove your unwavering worth in a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain. But dear Taurus, what happens when the fortress you built for protection begins to feel like a prison? What happens when the relentless stability you have clung to so fiercely becomes the very thing that stifles the life force within you, preventing the garden of your soul from ever truly blooming? This is the sacred and challenging precipice upon which you now stand. A silent war is being waged within you, not between good and evil, but between the familiar and the true. It is not a loud, dramatic crisis that you can point to and name. It is a slow, creeping realization that the comfort zone you have so diligently defended has become an invisible cage, gilded with the illusion of safety. You have mistaken this deep resistance to change for strength, convincing yourself that as long as nothing is disrupted, you are protected. But a profound truth is stirring, one that promises to dismantle this entire structure, not to leave you in ruins, but to finally set you free. The energies that are now gathering around you are potent, archetypal, and deeply transformative. They are not simple predictions of the future, they are mirrors reflecting the profound inner work you are being called to do. Let us look at them, not as separate events, but as chapters in a single, sacred story of your liberation. The story begins with a powerful summons, a cosmic knock at the door of your fortress. This comes in the form of two inseparable energies, justice and judgment. The card of justice steps forward, not as a judge with a gavel, but as a universal principle of rebalancing. It speaks to a deep, soul-level need for fairness to be restored in your life. For too long, you may have accepted less than you deserve, overgiven in your relationships, tolerated imbalances in your work, all in the name of maintaining that precious, yet costly, peace. Justice arrives to say, with unwavering clarity, no more. It signals a time of reckoning, where the truth becomes non-negotiable. Contracts, promises, and agreements, both the ones written on paper and the ones written on your heart, are now under a divine review. A powerful resolution is on the horizon, one that will correct a fundamental imbalance, not just in your external world, but in the way you value and honor yourself. This call for external balance is echoed by an even more profound internal call, the trumpet sound of judgment. Do not mistake this for a card of being judged by others. It is the voice of your own higher self, calling for a resurrection. It is an awakening, a summons to bring back to life the parts of you that you have buried beneath layers of duty, responsibility, and fear. Judgment heralds a moment of profound clarity, where you look back upon your past, not with shame or regret, but with a deep and compassionate understanding. You are being invited to see the lessons woven into every heartache, to understand how every sacrifice has shaped you, and most importantly, to forgive yourself for staying in places long after your soul knew it was time to leave. This is a reconciliation, first and foremost, with your own spirit. A conversation you have been avoiding, a desire you have been suppressing, a truth you have been swallowing. It is all now surfacing, ready to be acknowledged, ready to release you from the weight of the past. But where did this weight come from? Who instilled in you the belief that you had to be a silent martyr to be worthy of love and respect? When did you begin to equate your capacity for suffering with your strength? Perhaps from a very young age, Taurus, you learned that your value was measured by your steadfastness, by your unwavering ability to maintain the status quo. You were praised for being the reliable one, the one who never complains, the one who never falters. But did anyone ever see the cost? Did they notice the silent erosion of your own dreams, the slow petrification of your heart, the desires you deferred, and the truths you silenced, all to uphold this carefully crafted persona of the unshakable rock? That is the inner narrative you are now being invited to rewrite. It's the voice that whispers that risk is reckless, that the unknown is a threat to be avoided at all costs. It's the voice that urges you to stay put, even when every fiber of your being is crying out for movement, for change, for air. You feel it, don't you, Taurus? That profound and lonely feeling of being stuck, as if you are encased in amber while the river of life flows on without you. You know the quiet desperation of being fundamentally misunderstood. People see your calm, patient exterior, but they fail to witness the sleepless nights where you lie awake and ask the universe, "Is this truly all there is for me?" They don't see the hollow ache that sometimes echoes behind your comfortable routines, nor do they comprehend the deep pain of being a sanctuary for everyone else while feeling as though you have no sanctuary for yourself. But this is where the story turns. Through the cracks that are now inevitably appearing in your fortress walls, a new and gentle light is beginning to pour in. This is the divine, healing energy of the star. This beautiful card is a symbol of pure hope, of restoration, and of spiritual guidance. After what may have felt like a long, dark night of the soul, the star appears as a celestial promise that healing is not just possible, but is already underway. This is the universe whispering to you, you are seen, you are guided, you have not been abandoned. The emotional weight that has felt like a permanent part of your anatomy is finally, gently, beginning to dissipate. This card is a powerful reminder to trust your intuition, that quiet, inner compass that has been trying to guide you toward your own North Star all along. Hope is being restored, not because your challenges are magically vanishing, but because you are finally remembering your own resilience and your own divine connection to a source of infinite love and support. And what happens when you begin to operate from this healed, authentic, and hopeful space? You begin to build a new kind of foundation. This is the profound promise of the Four of Wands. This card symbolizes celebration, harmony, and most importantly, a form of stability that is joyful, vibrant, and freeing, not rigid, stifling, and confining. This is the energy of coming home to yourself, If you have felt disconnected or misaligned in your relationships, this card signals a beautiful and welcome realignment. It can signify a deepening of commitment in a partnership, a moment where two souls finally find a shared rhythm built on unwavering truth and profound mutual respect. For those of you who are single, the Four of Wands whispers of the arrival of a connection that feels, in the deepest sense of the word, like home. This is a soulmate energy, a person with whom you can build something real, lasting, and true. Precisely because you are finally building it from a place of profound self-love and wholeness. This is no longer about searching for someone to complete you. It is about becoming so gloriously complete within yourself that you naturally attract a love that mirrors and celebrates that wholeness. You must understand, Taurus, that this entire process is being propelled by a force far greater than your own fear or resistance. The wheel of fortune is turning decisively in your favor. This card is a powerful symbol of destiny, of the great cosmic cycles of change and of divine timing. Life is about to surprise you. An unexpected turn of events, a sudden opportunity, a chance encounter, something is poised to shift the entire landscape of your reality. What once seemed impossible, what felt hopelessly stuck and stagnant, is now gathering an unstoppable momentum. This is not mere luck in the traditional sense. It is the universe itself conspiring to move you out of your self-imposed prison and into the grand expanse of your true destiny. Your only task is to remain open. Let go of your fierce grip on the need to control every outcome. The changes that are coming may not be what your logical mind has planned, but they will be exactly what your soul has been praying for. And where does this sacred journey ultimately lead? It leads to a legacy of true, holistic, and unshakable abundance, symbolized by the magnificent 10 of Pentacles. This is the card of long-term success, of wealth, and of a deep, abiding security that is built to last for generations. But let us be clear, this is not just about financial wealth. It is about a richness of life in all its forms, a wealth of love, of joy, of peace, and of purpose. It is the deep sense of security that arises not from external possessions, but from being fully and authentically aligned with your soul's path. All your hard work, all your silent perseverance, all the inner battles you have fought and won, they are all about to bear tangible, magnificent fruit. This card asks you to think about the legacy you are building. What do you truly want to create? What do you want to leave behind? You are not just securing your own future, Taurus. With this transformation, you are creating a foundation of true and lasting abundance for all those whose lives you touch. Let us now ground this monumental transformation in the core areas of your life to see how these seeds of change can take root in your daily reality. In the realm of your finances and your career, the energy of the 10 of Pentacles is a powerful and welcome omen. But this is not an invitation to passively wait for a financial windfall. It is a call to recognize that your material reality is a direct reflection of your inner sense of worth. For too long, you may have worked tirelessly, driven by an underlying fear of lack, clinging to jobs or career paths that provided a semblance of security but starved your soul. The universe is now asking you to make a courageous shift, from a mindset of mere survival to one of thriving. The presence of justice here is significant. It suggests that contracts, salary negotiations, and professional agreements are coming into sharp focus. If you have felt undervalued, underpaid, or unseen in your work, now is the time to stand in your power and advocate for your worth with a newfound clarity and unshakable confidence. However, a word of caution. born not of fear but of wisdom. Be meticulous. If you are signing new agreements, especially with friends or family where boundaries can become blurred, do not let affection cloud your discernment. As clinical as it may sound, insist that everything be documented. This is not an act of distrust. It is a profound act of self-respect, ensuring that the new foundation you are so carefully building is solid, clear, and unshakable. If you are questioning your current career path, feeling the deep ache of boredom with the traditional or a sense of being overwhelmed by the modern, listen closely. This is your soul signaling that a fundamental change is not just desired, but required. Your superiors or colleagues may not evolve at your pace, and that is perfectly okay. This journey is yours, and yours alone. Use this potent energy to innovate, to learn, to propose new ideas, but more importantly, to ask yourself the most courageous question of all. Does this work allow my soul to blossom, or does it demand that I remain a bud, tightly closed in a cage of practicality? Remember, your truest and most lasting security will never come from a paycheck. It will come from the deep and abiding joy of aligning your life's work with your soul's sacred calling. When we turn the lens to the intimate landscape of your heart and your relationships, this transformation is perhaps at its most poignant and powerful. If you are in a partnership, the time for polite pretenses and silent compromises is over. The Four of Wands is an invitation to co-create a relationship that is a true sanctuary for both of you, a place of rest, of joy, and of authentic connection. This requires vulnerable conversations. It requires you to ask, what is stopping us from fully merging mind, body, and soul? Very often, the answer leads back to those old fortress walls, that deep-seated fear of being truly seen in all your beautiful imperfection. You are being called to renew your connection, to consciously let go of old patterns and silent resentments, and to rediscover the fierce, tender passion that can only arise from genuine, unmasked intimacy. For the single Taurus, this is a moment of profound and sacred opportunity. The universe is asking you to fall deeply, madly, and irrevocably in love with yourself first. It is time to give yourself the unwavering security, the unconditional validation, and the pure, unadulterated happiness you may have so often sought from others. Stop waiting for someone else to invite you to live your life. Invite yourself. A blind date can be a source of joy, but only if you release the heavy expectation that it must lead somewhere specific. The true goal is to relish your own company, to cultivate a self-possessed joy that radiates from you like a warm light. When you operate from this frequency of wholeness, you no longer attract partners out of a sense of neediness or lack. You attract them out of a shared resonance of abundance. The Wheel of Fortune whispers that an unexpected and significant encounter could be just around the corner, but you will only recognize its divine potential if you have done the inner work to be ready for a love that doesn't require you to be anything other than exactly who you are. In your family life and your home, the energy of judgment points toward the healing of deep-seated, perhaps even ancestral, wounds. There are often unwritten rules in families, patterns of communication or a lack thereof that have been passed down through generations. The stoicism, the deeply ingrained belief that one must handle all burdens alone, the unspoken tensions that linger in the air. These are all now ripe for healing. This may require you to initiate an open and honest conversation that feels tremendously uncomfortable at first. It may require a moment of truth that finally clears the air of decades of unspoken feelings. But the promise of the Four of Wands assures you that on the other side of this courage is greater unity, authentic celebration, and true peace. Your home is meant to be your sanctuary, and the energy is now powerfully supporting the resolution of long-standing conflicts. You are not just healing yourself, you are breaking a cycle for your entire lineage. And what of your most precious asset? Your physical and emotional well-being. Dear Taurus, you simply cannot carry the immense weight of the world on your shoulders without it eventually taking a toll. The stress, the tension, the fatigue you feel, this is your body's sacred language. It is speaking to you, telling you that you have been giving from an empty well for far too long. Others may demand much from you, but you are the sole guardian of your own energy. Reclaiming your personal territory, your time, and your peace is not a selfish act. It is an act of survival and profound self-love. This is your divine permission to cancel an appointment that drains you, to turn off your phone, to simply rest without an ounce of guilt. Your body holds the score of every unspoken fear, every swallowed tear, and every deferred dream. Listening to it, truly and deeply listening, is the first and most crucial step toward the holistic and radiant healing that the beautiful energy of the star so lovingly promises. So, where do you go from this moment? The path forward is not about making a single grand, dramatic leap. It is about a series of small, conscious, and courageous choices made every single day. It is the choice to speak your truth, even when your voice shakes with a lifetime of silence. It is the choice to honor your need for rest when you are tired, instead of relentlessly pushing through. It is the choice to say no, with gentle firmness and without guilt, and to say yes to your own soul's desires without fear. You are stepping out of the well-worn role of the perpetual survivor and into the magnificent, empowered role of the conscious creator. You are finally, deeply understanding that your worth is not, and never was, defined by your stability or your capacity to endure hardship. You are enough. You have always been enough, simply because you exist. The fortress is crumbling, dear Taurus, and I urge you not to mourn its loss. For in the sacred space it leaves behind, a magnificent garden is already beginning to grow. A life that is not just secure, but is also vibrant, authentic, and breathtakingly, unapologetically beautiful. This is your new reality. This is your liberation. Welcome home.